All right, third strategy, factoring basic trinomials. Couple things you need to know. The reason we call these basic is because the leading coefficient, right, the number that's in front of your highest power is going to be a 1. Okay, that's what makes it basic. All right, couple things. What is a trinomial? Trinomial means 3 terms. Here's your first, here's your bx term is your second, and then the plus c is your third. Okay, that's what tri in trinomial refers to. All right, and this is also quadratic because we have a power of 2. So our degree, our highest power in the polynomial is going to be 2. So we're dealing with a basic quadratic trinomial, and all we're going to have to do to factor this is 2 different things. We need to multiply to a -6, and then we need to add up to, in this case, a -1. All right, so we need 2 numbers that are the same, that multiply to -6, and then add up to -1. All right, so let's see which numbers are going to do that for us. So before I do anything, let's open up our parentheses here to factor this. Again, factoring just means to turn a polynomial back into multiplication. So the first term is easy. It's just going to be whatever your initial term is. In this case, it's a c, and the only way to get c squared is to multiply. So c times c is going to be c squared. All right, so now the more interesting part here becomes I need 2 numbers that are going to multiply to a -6, which means that we're going to have 1 positive and 1 negative, and then those same 2 numbers have to add up to -1. All right, so the factors of 6 that would do that for us would be +2 and -3. Okay, and that's the only combination with these signs that would do both things that we need to multiply to -6. So if we have 2 times -3, that's -6. And then if we do 2 plus -3, that's going to give us our -1. Okay, so be careful about what your signs are. Make sure that your signs are combining up together to give you the middle term. Okay, if you were to switch these around, it would not add up to -1. Okay, it would multiply to -6. That part would be okay, but we got to make sure it adds up to whatever the middle term is. Okay, so in 12, we're in a basic trinomial. It's quadratic because you have power of 2, trinomial because you have 3 terms, and we need to factor this. So we need 2 numbers that will multiply to 78 and then add up to +19. Okay, so we're going to put the x's first. That's how you get x squared. And then to multiply to a positive and add up to a positive, that just means you're going to have 2 positive numbers. Okay, so the 2 numbers that would do that for us would be 13 and 6. Now, the order of this doesn't matter because both signs are positive. So if you put the 6 first, it's totally fine, right? So the order didn't matter because when you add up 2 positive numbers, you're going to get another positive number anyway. Okay. All right, same idea. We're in the basic case. We have a leading coefficient of 1. It's quadratic. It's a trinomial. We need 2 numbers that will multiply to -27, add up to 6. So we'll open up our parentheses. We're dealing with variable of m. So 2 numbers that multiply to a negative would be 1 positive and 1 negative, and then combine up to -6. Okay, the numbers that would do that for us would be a +3 and a -9. Okay, so -9 times 3 would give us the -27 that we want, and then -9 plus 3 would give us that -6 that we want. Okay, so this is the combination with the signs. And then last but not least, our goal is to always check for a GCF first. That's always the first thing we do. And we know that we would have to do that in this one because we're not dealing with a quadratic at the moment. Right now, the leading term is cubic. Okay, so factoring cubes is a very different strategy. All right, but if we know and remember to take out the GCF first, then we may be in a quadratic function. All right, so I know that there's at least 1 factor of x in each. So now we can take that out. Okay, and now I'm in the basic trinomial case, so I need 2 numbers that multiply to +64 and then add up to 16. So the greatest common factor of x will just come along for the ride here, and then two numbers that would multiply to 64 that are positive would be 8 and then 8 again, because positive 8 and positive 8 would give us positive 16. And I'm just going to rewrite this a little bit more succinctly. So this is the GCF, and because the factors were identical, we'll just say the quantity of x plus 8 all squared. Okay, that's a better final answer.